Hi, I'm Robert Craven of Launch Natural. I'm here today to talk about delegation. I firmly believe that delegation is a key when you're thinking about scaling your passion as a young entrepreneur or as a more established company. Anytime you're ready to take things to the next level, being able to delegate decision making down to all the corners of the company is absolutely crucial and critical. And we're going to talk about that today in a short amount of time here. Let's jump right in. Here's the problem. I've heard multiple entrepreneurs tell me if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. Many times what makes an entrepreneur successful is the fact that they make every decision, and they're very, very good at it. They're very smart. They have great memories. They can multitask, and they have very high energy. And because of that, in the young life stage of a company, those qualities are very, very good and are what can help a company be successful. As a company tries to transition from a younger life stage to an older life stage or more scale-driven life stage, those qualities can begin to hurt the entrepreneur because the entrepreneur realizes that if they want to be able to scale to a higher level, they have to delegate decision-making down into the organization so that they can focus on more important things like strategy, partnerships, 12 months out, investors, raising money, etc. So this is really a symptom of centralized decision making, and the point that I'm trying to make is that when you're ready to scale your passion, being able to transition to decentralized decision making is a key in scaling your passion. What can happen though is you end up in the normal life stage of a company where the entrepreneur is making all the decisions or it's centralized decision making. Associates can have a fear of making decisions. They may have tried to make decisions in the past, made some bad ones, and maybe the leadership didn't react very favorably to that. But a lot of times associates just don't have the structure and the foundation in place to be able to really support great decision making, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And as I also mentioned, I call it the lid. I actually learned this from John Maxwell, who's an excellent writer. But I believe that entrepreneur-driven companies or younger companies can almost have a lid on them, and you have to remove the lid to be able to allow the company to really take things to the next level. I believe that centralized decision making, and I've seen this happen over and over and over again, and entrepreneurs that are controlling or will not allow for that decision making to flow down can be a lid on the growth of the company, and we're going to talk about how to release that lid. As I move into the four walls and start to talk about that, it's really critical to recognize that an entrepreneur has to be ready to make these changes. If the entrepreneur is not ready to think in a different way, to take their company to the next level, that's okay. There are many successful entrepreneurs that maintain control. But as I write about on my website and in blogs, many times you have to choose between being king or rich. Being rich meaning scaling, not necessarily rich in money, but being able to take your baby to a whole nother level versus being king, which is more controlling. And I think that a lot of the conflict I see in companies is related to that. Now, entrepreneurs need a system that gives them the feedback that they need to be able to make sure that decisions are being made correctly. I'm not just saying delegate. In fact, the four walls are an analogy or a metaphor for the brick-by-brick process of building each wall around an associate so that they feel comfortable making the right kinds of decisions for the company. This process can take 12 months to 18 months. It's not a simple process. But the more you pour into it proactively, the better your associates will be equipped to make great decisions. So let's talk about the four walls. The first wall is clearly mission and vision. Having a very strong, concise, focused mission is critical. And typically, we describe a mission as what we do and why we do it. Most missions I've seen are too broad. They need to be more focused and clarified, and the better your mission, the stronger this wall. The second part of this wall is vision. Without understanding where you're going as a company, you'll never really get there, or you may get there, but you may be leaving team members aside. I use the analogy of my 7-year-old daughter. When I tell her we're going to Orlando to Disney World, she knows that's north. She could actually give me directions. We're going to go down here to the turnpike. We're going to go north on the turnpike. We're going to get off at X exit, I-4, and it's going to take us right to Disney World. So even a 7-year-old, when they know where they're going, they can help make decisions at the lowest possible levels in terms of how to get there. So mission, who we are, why we do what we're doing, and what we do, and then the vision, where we're going, is the first wall, and it's very, very critical to build that wall in a strong way. Core values is the next wall. Now, core values wall talks about how we do what we do and what's important to us as an organization when it comes to behavior. Is integrity important? Is honesty and truth? Is high levels of customer service, or is price more of an issue? The core values wall is something that I think a lot of entrepreneurs can overlook, but I think it's very, very important to build out a strong set of core values that are realistic, specific, actionable, and then you have to live those core values and invite your employees to call you on it when something might slip. Being able to, again, the children analogy here is perfect. We have rules in our house for our kids. You have to have rules in your house for what's acceptable in your company. The golden rule, for example, treat others the way you want to be treated, is very, very good, and I would submit that you need to take that even deeper as you build out your core values. The third wall is what I'll call SOPs. You might have heard this analogy before. It stands for Standard Operating Procedures. Another word for that would be process. The process wall tells your employees how they interact with others in a very specific way. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3. Box 1 links to Box 2, which links to Box 3, and then there's an if-then statement that if this is a yes, then it goes this way, and if it's a no, it goes this way. The best practice companies in the world, the best of the best, document all of their critical functions, and even better than that is documenting all functions. Being able to build a strong wall of SOPs tells your employees how to interact with each other, which is the last wall here is role. And what this is directly related to is your associate's role in the company. You can also call this roles and responsibilities. What's really important to outline here is the key metrics that you're going to judge that employee by, being very specific on what's expected. Now, in the companies that I've run as CEO, our roles and responsibility sheets were half a page. These are the 1 or 2 metrics that are important for your role, and here's how we're going to measure you, and here's how often, and here's what's expected. That ties right back into reward and recognition. It ties back into performance reviews. All that's tied together. Now, if you look at these 4 walls, moving from right to left or green to red, you start with the individual with the role wall. You then tell them how they interact with other individuals with the SOPs wall, the process wall. You tell them how to behave with the core values and what's expected in terms of behavior. And then the mission and vision is the corporate wall. It's about where we're going, why we're doing what we're doing. Now, again, each wall has to be built brick by brick. Moving on, the benefits of building these walls are very straightforward. If you can learn to empower your associates and give them an environment where they can operate within these 4 walls and feel comfortable, you will see growth. Clarity comes out of this. A lot of young companies wear a lot of hats, if you will, when it comes to roles and responsibilities. Even if you wear a lot of hats, or even if there's an employee who wears a lot of hats in your company, you still have to outline that clarity, clear roles and responsibilities. Here's exactly how you need to interact with your counterparts. Here's the behaviors we expect, and then here's where we're going and why we're doing it. Cooperation, being able to foster a sense of cooperation, getting everybody focused on the same things, focused on the same direction is also a major benefit, and trust will go up. Trust amongst your team is critical, especially related to the entrepreneur, the CEO, and the people below that person. Being able to trust that you've built the framework for them to be able to operate effectively and efficiently is absolutely critical in this regard. So trust, and Stephen Covey in his book, a great book, The 7 Habits, which I talk about quite a lot, talks about as cooperation goes up and as trust goes up in a team, you start to get synergy. And synergy is basically a concept that says the sum is greater than the individual parts. 1 + 1 = 3. So as trust and cooperation, empowerment, clarity, as these things start to go up, you start to get even more productivity, more efficiency, more effectiveness out of your team, and it's a very, very powerful. All of this leads to growth. A lot of entrepreneurs I meet hit what I call the $20 million wall, or they hit a wall in their growth where they must do things differently to bust through that wall. Also, I'll remind you that Launch Natural coaches passionate entrepreneurs and leaders on how to scale their business. We're a coaching firm. We are not consultants. We come alongside of you, mentor you, challenge you, hold you accountable, help you to focus your business in a deeper way. Contact me today. My name is Robert Craven. I'm the founder and partner at Launch Natural. You can see my contact information here. Feel free to reach out to me, robert@launchnatural.com, 561-762-3843 for your complimentary coaching session. Thank you so much and have a great day.